a sedentary to a physically active societal way of life. This is Up on Our Feet.
Welcome to Up on Our Feet. We've known for quite some time about the positive effect of physical activity, exercise, on the body and our physical health. And over the past 2 decades or so, we've also learned that physical activity has a similar effect on cognition, how our brain works. More recently, studies are showing that physical activity also has a positive effect on our overall mental health or psychological well-being. And this positive effect also shows up in school children. In fact, a study that just came out even detailed just how much physical activity school children need for it to have a positive impact not only on their physical health, but their psychological well-being, their mental health as well. And one of the co-authors of this study is Professor Celia Álvarez-Bueno of the University of Castilla-La Mancha, which is located a little over 100 miles or 170 kilometers east of Madrid, Spain. Professor Álvarez-Bueno is a research scientist at the Health and Social Research Center at the university and studies how physical activity influences cognitive functions across the lifespan, especially in children and the elderly. Professor Álvarez-Bueno is also a member of the American Sports Institute's International Board of Advisors. Professor Álvarez-Bueno, it's nice to have you with us.
Hi, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, sure. Thanks for being here. Okay.
Yeah.
When people think of physical activity or exercise, they usually think of things like jogging, cycling, swimming, gym workouts, yoga, things like this. But your study looked at a type of physical activity that just about everyone engages in every day, and that is steps taken per day. So let's talk about this. First, what led you to even investigate and do a study on how something as simple as steps per day might influence school children's mental well-being?
So this is a really good question. So as you have said now, we are really interested in physical activity that children can do without doing anything extra. So I mean, steps are a very, very accessible physical activity. So children can do, and so not only children, but every people can do it every day. Just walking to the work, or going to the university, or just doing active community to the schools. So we were interested in this kind of physical activity because it's something that everybody does every day, just to move from one point to another point. And because the World Health Organization says that just is needed to move for doing some exercise. So we can consider steps as exercise also. And we can organize exercise only doing steps with more velocity or less, but we can improve our aerobic fitness on our strength with steps.
Okay, so that's why you did the study. And then what were the results of your study?
So the results in this study, we tried to know if children doing more steps during the day had better mental health and physical health, so better quality of life, and also better aerobic fitness. And we saw that when children achieve a limit of 9,000 steps per day, their health-related quality of life is better than their peers, than than don't achieve this limit. And we also have seen that children achieving 12,000 steps have better health-related quality of life than those achieving 9,000 steps. But when children achieve 12,000 steps, their health-related quality of life is like a plateau. They don't improve, even if they improve their steps.
Okay, so did your study explain exactly how the physical activity, in this case, the more than 9,000 steps per day, did the study explain how the physical activity improves the mental health of the school children, meaning what happens neurologically in the brain?
So with this study, we couldn't do that. So we did field study. We went to the schools and did all the measurements in the schools, quality of life, fitness, steps, and everything that we use in the study. And we didn't take the children and move them into the lab to make MRIs or this kind of proofs. So we only can relate that steps are related with better quality of life, and this could be related also with the improvements in aerobic fitness. Even if we couldn't achieve this explanation that you mentioned. We know that other colleagues have done this kind of studies, and this college says that physical activity in children improves their self-esteem and also the relationship with other peers. So this can improve their health quality of life. So this could be the mechanisms. Also, the neurologists say that change in the brain are promoted through physical activity, but specifically with health-related quality of life, we can say that the promotion of relationship with other peers and the improve of the self-esteem are the most related with this.
Okay, so you're saying that between 9,000 and 12,000 steps a day is when the mental health or quality of life for the school children improves. What's the qualitative difference if they do less than 9,000 steps? In other words, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said there's a plateau of about 12,000 steps, where if they go beyond that, there isn't any improvement, yes?
Mm-hmm. This is what we found in this study, but we need to recognize that this is a cross-sectional study. So what we did is to relate the physical aerobic fitness of children with their steps, the steps they do through the day, and also with the level of health-related quality of life. They reported it in the self-reported questionnaires. So when we did the analysis and saw that every child in the graph, we saw that those who did less than 9,000 steps had not only worst health-related health-related quality of life, but also worse aerobic fitness. And between 9 and 12,000 steps per day, we saw that those children had the better of both aerobic fitness and health-related quality of life. And over 12,000, we saw no improvements in both measurements. Other colleagues have found similar figures, as Catherine Tudor-Locke or others. in other studies.
Okay, so there seems to be, what you're saying is there's this range between 9 and 12,000 steps where you maximize the mental health and the physical health of the school children, and below that, below the 9,000, you get less results, and beyond 12,000, though, there's no measurable change. So it seems that 9 to 12,000 steps per day is a general range. Did your study include how long it takes students to get 9 to 12,000 steps a day? Does that require an hour and a half or 2 hours or less time of ongoing movement to get those number of steps?
So we couldn't measure this also because we took the steps that children made through the day. So this measurement of 9,000 and 12,000 steps are through all the day. So we couldn't say if they are from active community to schools, or if it is from going to play football or other activities. But other colleagues, as I said, Catherine Tudor-Locke, found that in children making between 10,000 and 40,000 steps could be in 1 hour of moderate physical activity for children. So we can say that maybe if children make steps during 1 hour with moderate physical activity, so with a very active walking, they could achieve moderate physical activity in 1 hour.
Okay. So in the bigger picture of things, we know that the mental health of school children is a major concern in countries worldwide. And you often hear that a major concern, if not the number one concern of teachers today, is the students' behavior. And so with schools cutting back more and more on allocating time for physical activity for their students in an effort to spend more time on academics to improve their test scores, are the schools in effect working against the students' best interest, and while certainly well-intentioned, even contributing to the global mental health problems of school children by not having their students be more physically active?
Yes, it's like something really weird. So many researchers are saying that physical activity can improve cognition and can improve her relative quality of life and can improve other outcomes in children. So if we do healthy children, we can do better or healthier adults. So because we know that it's a tracking and of behaviors, and it's very difficult to understand how we continue cutting hours of physical activity in schools, even if all the research say that it's better doing physical activity. I think that it is related with the fact that physical activity is not a discipline where you can sit and learn something. So learn figures on names or something related with history is a more artistic subject. So when we think about learning students something more abstract, is everybody get concerned. So nobody understands the aim of doing that. When we try to understand something that you can put in a paper and everything understand and read it, not only parents, but also children could also not understand this, parents and also politicians. So I think that trying to cut this kind of time of physical activity is related with that, not because we think that is not useful. It's just because so the meaning of the subject. But at the same time that we are cutting this kind of physical activity at the schools, we are trying to offer more after schools physical activity programs for children and trying to promote active community, so to the schools. So it's for one line we are cutting physical activity, and at the other we are trying to offer children more physical activity instead of including physical activity in the school time. That is very clear that is related with better concentration, better health-related quality of life, better working memory, and other things really, really useful for our daily living, as planning, as related with peers and other cognitive statements.
Okay, so with the schools cutting back, related to what you said, with the schools cutting back on the physical activity for their students, despite what all the research says and what you just went through, it's almost overwhelming. Why do you think the educators aren't following the science, aren't following the research? Because educators are supposed to be educated. And it seems to me they would follow the science, but the science is out there. There are literally thousands of articles, research studies that have been done on this. Why do you think the educators are not following the science? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I really think that is because they have so much things to teach at the school, and the politics are not in the same line. So in one way, so the politicians try to include in the school so many things and so many new strategies and so much activities. At the same time, the teachers are not free to do all the things they want to do. So follow the strategies that they want, and they should take permission for everything that they do. So if they include physical activity in the classes, they need to explain that to the duration and also to the parents. And sometimes, as I said, people, so parents that are general people, could not understand really good how a class which include physical activity could contribute to the knowledge of the children. And so I think that sometimes teachers are overloaded, and other times are like trying to include the evidence in the classroom, but without being the weird teachers. So trying to continue with the strategies that are really accepted by the people. And it's very difficult, even if all the researchers have been during years saying that physical activity can improve, even included in the classroom, many cognitive statements. It's difficult for the general people to do that. So when I say my students, I have 2 hours of classes continuous. So at the end, at the middle, I said them, so stand up, close the PCs, and we are going to do an exercise. And they are 20 years old, and they don't understand me. So they are used to be 2 hours seated and listening. And they don't realize that when they take a break and do some exercise, the next step, they are going to be more concentrated. And they are going to be more relaxed, and they are going to understand everything better. It's difficult to make people understand this.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're saying regarding the school children that it's not just an issue about the educators, because even if the teachers would want to do this, the parents have to want this, the policymakers have got to want to do this, and they're not necessarily, they don't study the research. The educators may, but policymakers and parents, you don't think they would do that. So in this context, do you have any thoughts as to what it will take to turn this situation around where the schools would be able to increase rather than decrease the amount of time students spend being physically active in order to maximize their mental health in addition to their physical health and academic performance?
I usually think that sometimes with research, we try people to read our research and to implement it. And sometimes we forget about communicate our research. And I think that it could be better if the researchers that we are related with physical activity and all the benefits of physical activity, if we were to schools and explain teachers and directions and policymakers the benefits of physical activity, and also to parents that they could understand these new strategies. So if we invest some time in doing that, going to one school and other day to another and other day to another, and explain what we are doing, I think that we can change things better than now. So just waiting for people to read, or policymakers to read our research and to implement it. I think that we can also go to the base and educate the base in a way that the base, so parents, teachers, and so on, can ask to the policymakers to implement this kind of strategies.
Okay. All right. Final question. Over the course of your professional career, and with all the studies and projects you've done regarding the positive impact of physical activity on cognition, the body, mental health, in the big picture of things, what's the big message, the big takeaway, the major conclusion you've come to?
So the bigger conclusion, this is a really good question, because I have never put all together. So I think that the better conclusion is just like being active is being healthy. So being healthy in every way, mental, physical, psychological. And so this improves your relationships, this improves your your health in any way, and this improve also your way you cook, because when you are healthy because when you are healthy in one part of your life, you try to be healthier in the others, so you can track this, like, I'm healthier doing physical activity, I'm going to be healthier eating, and I try to be healthier with my mental health in my job, and you try to track this. So being physical activity, being active physically, that is so easy, as we have seen, that starting doing steps. You don't need to run, you don't need to bicycle, you don't need to do nothing special, just start walking. One day you put your shoes and open the door, go out, and go for a walk for 30 minutes or 1 hour. You can start 30 minutes and then going more time and adding more time. So this is really easy, and this can so improve your health so much.
Okay, so you're saying it's pretty simple to do that. Just one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Professor Celia Álvarez-Bueno of the University of Castilla-La Mancha in Spain, thanks for being with us on Up on Our Feet.
Thank you so much for sharing this research and this time with you.